Right, the bakery basement is busted, meat confiscated. I'll confiscate his meat. Oh my god, he's so pretty. Hello, and welcome to my playthrough of the prologue of Amen, the Quiet Exodus. This is a gothic horror dark romance dating sim in which humanity is affected by a curse called the Veil. Will you survive the dystopia that awaits you in the aftermath, or will you succumb to the horrors and monsters that now lurk the street? Let's get started. And there's also very hot people to romance. Yeah, the prologue largely covers the backstory, and then after the backstory is when we meet our first love interest. All characters and events are fictional. The opinions and actions of the characters reflect their individual personalities and do not represent the views of the author. The center wet granite, ink and parchment. I am so excited for you guys to see the love interest. They are hot as fuck. The warmth of candles and votive lamps. Then the noise of festivities. The sharp stench of alcohol hitting the nostrils. Perhaps from an officer's cologne. Perhaps from a soldier's breath. Night vigils. The way I said night was so Australian, that was embarrassing. Night vigils, the tremor of waiting for a meeting, and the weight of parting and butterflies in the stomach. So many different feelings and sensations, all replaced in an instant by something utterly different, imperceptibly heavy, searing cold, but far more distinct than anything before. And then came the agony. An unstoppable force collided with an immovable barrier, the longed for separated from the attained, as of soul from body, and now to reach that suddenly revealed light. One must step not only over the shards of one's own honor, but over the very frame of one's former. Until yesterday's so happy life, caught in such a position, a person goes where words end, and remains only bitter, liberating. Smother my thoughts, thy will be done. I repeated it for 20 years, thy will be done. And now, is this also thy will? No. Father Vaclav would say submit. I am 24 years old. I have given thee my life, my purity, my thoughts, Sunday school. Everything. I have known no man, and tomorrow, Tenard, Lord, the eyes of the whole city are fixed on him. Every girl, all of Hasov is watching, and I stand here praying for health and happiness. Oh my gosh, I love that they rigged the art. This is not the trial, no. Thou dost not test me with Tenard. Thou testest me with Victor. He's a blasphemer, I know. He says the soul is an impulse, and that there is neither heaven nor hell. Only energy that men have not yet been able to comprehend. That is thy business, Lord. Thine craft, life and resurrection, and he wants to comprehend it. Thou couldst have sent me consumption or famine, or a drunkard for a husband. I would have coped. Women cope with all of that. But why didst thou let me hear what my own laughter sounds like? I did not know that before talking to him. With Tenard, I am silent. Given to thoughts of Victor. Is Victor hurt? Why didst thou let me hear my own heartbeat? I thought my heart was only for prayer. It was stone. Convenient. In the distance, a sexton's footsteps fade completely. She is left utterly alone. Only the empty cathedral, the piercing cold, and a silent God. I am not asking thee to forgive me for a betrayal. It has not happened yet. Only in my thoughts 1,000 times. I ask thee, take this away. Make me empty and humble again. Give me the silence inside, with which I can go to the altar tomorrow and not scream. And if not, if thou hast chosen to punish me with this love, then take my breath away now, because tomorrow I become the wife of a man I do not love. And God knows, if his brother asks me once more about the soul, I will answer him the truth, and that is the Gehenna. From the street, the clock tower chimes. Hollow strikes, mercilessly counting the last hours of her former life. Brother! The man that she loves is the brother of the one that she's supposed to marry. The drama is insane. I am sat. Amelia rises from her knees. The white wedding dress, not yet fitted, with basting stitches on the hem, sticks to the cold stone floor. The fabric is too thin, not meant for a night prayer in an unheated hall. She no longer feels the cold, only her own pulsing ringing in her temples. She walks towards the exit, the vaults pressed down painfully. Saints from darkened frescoes watch her with indifferent, empty eye sockets. But at the arch leading to the narthex, a voice stops her. My child? It is so late. Amelia freezes in fear. She does not turn at once. A convulsive inhale and a slow exhale. Sister Martha. I was praying. Sister Martha is small, in a black wimple. Her eyes are pale, almost faded, but frighteningly sharp. She looks at the white dress and at Amelia's frozen feet and thin shoes, and at the deep shadows under her eyes. In your wedding dress at 3 a.m. The Lord, of course, appreciates zeal, but your body is also his creation. It is not right to torment it with cold on the eve of such a day. I'm leaving already. Amelia moves towards the exit, but Sister Martha remains standing firmly in the doorway. Tomorrow at 9, confession. At 11, the wedding. The flowers arrive from Novak's greenhouse. White roses, your favorites, I believe. Monsieur Thenard sent word that he has the rings. And also, squinting slightly, she steps closer to the young girl, as if unwilling to let her go, that he will be at the church on time. Amelia looks at the floor. There, on a stone slab, is a worn relief of some saint. She stares at it desperately, just to avoid lifting her eyes. Good, is that all? And the dress? The hem must be shortened. You do not want to stumble before the altar. Amelia feels uncomfortable with the suffocating closeness. Talk back. She takes a few sharp steps forward. I will shorten it. In the morning. And the flowers, they need to be arranged. I asked you to come at 9 so that... Amelia answers a little louder than intended. I remember. Sister Martha searches Amelia's face. The younger woman looks away towards the dark altar, towards the vigil lamp, anywhere. You are not happy about this marriage. Yeah, no shit. Amelia is silent. Her fingers grip the edge of the fabric until they turn white. On the pristine white fabric, damp marks from her nervous palms will surely remain. I am an old woman, my child. I have seen hundreds of brides. Those who weep with joy, those who tremble with fear, those who look at their groom as if at an enemy you do not look at all. Oh my god, that's so good. You look past. Meet Sister Martha's eyes directly. Amelia slowly lifts her eyes. In them, emptiness. The very same absolute emptiness she asked God for only minutes ago. I will marry him, Sister Martha. Everything will be as it should. As it should. The sister shakes her head. Do you know how many times I have heard those words from women who later came here, a year later, 5 years later, with eyes so full of darkness that even the candles before them went out? I do not know what is in your heart, and I will not ask you to tell me, but listen to an old woman. There is a path that the Lord gives us as a cross, and there is a path that we choose ourselves to spite him and to spite ourselves. The first is heavy but holds salvation. The second is sweet at first, but then she touches her pectoral cross with dry fingers, and then nothing remains but ashes, and the memory of how you broke with your own hands not only your own life. Amelia remains motionless. A vein pulses in her temple, pain radiating dully to the back of her head. I understand. Thank you. She steps sideways, trying to move past the nun. Sister Martha does not stop her, only turns her head slightly, watching her go. Amelia! She stops but does not turn around. The one you love? He is not worth it. I love no one, Sister Martha. And she leaves. The white dress disappears into the dark doorway like a ghost. I love Amelia already. Her footsteps fade. Sister Martha gazes after her for a long time. Forgive her, Lord, she lies even to herself. A drought snuffs out the last candle before the altar. The cathedral plunges into complete darkness. The art is so good. The moment she steps out of the cathedral, the heavy oak door closes behind her with a muffled thud, like a coffin lid. She shudders painfully from the piercing night cold. Her thin dress freezes instantly. The street is empty. Vlasov sleeps, wrapped in a light mist and drizzling rain. Gas lamps burn, every other one. Yellow patches of light trembling in puddles on the wet cobblestones. Amelia walks slowly. Only the lonely click of her heels on the damp stone can be heard. So that's it. So here you end, Amelia, the former one. One night left to sleep through, then confession, then the crown, and then she convulsively presses icy fingers to her temple. The pain pulses, as if someone is methodically driving a rusty nail under the skin. Her vision begins to blur, but she stubbornly keeps walking. I wonder, is God taking my thoughts, or is it just a lack of sleep, hunger and fear? Father Vaclav would say, humiliation torments the soul but not the heart. The street slopes downwards towards the bridge. She descends slowly as if finding perverse solace in this dreary weather. Her gaze fixes on the stone railings, slick with constant moisture. The water below is black and inviting. Amelia stops and stares, mesmerized into the deep darkness. If I lean over, like this, her fragile, weakened body leans dangerously towards the dark abyss. And she squeezes her eyes shut, takes a noisy breath and straightens up, and gaze into the dark water. Look to the sky. No. A sin. Suicides are not given a funeral. And besides, he would say, destroy yourself twice in one lifetime. Really, Amelia? Victor. The name like a painful heartbeat against her ribs. No. Nonsense. Forget it. She pulls away from the railing sharply and walks on. Her pace quickens. The pain in her temple grows unbearably. Her heart pounds desperately. Tomorrow, I become Thenard's wife. Monsieur Thenard, my husband, but I am not a wife. I am an ornament, worthy of the medals on his uniform. All those powdered dolls will eye me, appraise me like a thing. But not him. He will laugh loudly, slap me on the shoulder and call me the little wife. I will wash his shirts, cook his dinners, and keep silent when his anger rises, and bear his children, watch them grow up, with his eyes, with his smirk, grow old beside him, wither and quietly fade, and one day lie down in the ground, here in Hlasov. In the cemetery by the eastern wall, there are thousands of women in the world. Millions, and they manage. They don't die. They smile, go to church, bake pies, knit socks. What makes me better? Who am I to demand anything different? The pain in her temple erupts in blinding flashes before her eyes. Amelia lets out a small cry, pressing her palm hard against her eyes. White spots dance before her. Nausea rises treacherously to her throat. There it is. The body understands. It knows that tomorrow it will be buried alive, and it screams and breaks. But the soul is silent. I have already accepted it. Amelia shifts her gaze to the neighboring house, the one just down the street, Thenard's house, and Victor's. The windows are utterly dark. He is asleep now, dreaming of his electromagnetic waves. His cerebellum's his guitar. He has no idea that I am standing here in my wedding dress at night, on the cold pavement, and dying. The cold seeps into her very bones. Her teeth begin to chatter nervously. I will marry him tomorrow. I will do everything right. I will be a good wife, a good mother, a good parishioner. I will forget his smell, his voice, the way he looked at me. I will tear this out of myself by the root, and no one will ever know what I could have been. Jesus! My God! Not even myself. Lord, if thou art listening to me now, through this pain and cursed cold, I ask nothing of thee, only make me feel nothing tomorrow. Absolutely nothing. The bridge is left behind. Evidently easy suicide was not to her taste. On the horizon, the front door of her future home comes into view. Oh my God. I love that his face is blurred. Oh, I really like that detail. They were an ordinary family. As ordinary as the family of an Imperial Guard general. And the most famous female neurosurgeon in this part of the world can be. Naturally, a monastery-raised girl who knew neither family customs or aristocratic manners would barely feel, to put it mildly, out of place. The future mother-in-law addresses her condescendingly. Hang on, who is this guy right here? This guy's hot. Is that Victor? Damn! Is that Victor? That one right there, is that Victor? Oh Lord, forgive me for I'm about to sin. The future mother-in-law addresses her condescendingly with reproach, her voice slightly raised. If I were you, Amelia, I'd be glowing with happiness. The father-in-law tries to speak more quietly, but still in a commanding tone. Tell her to pull her hair back, all those curls. And here comes her fateful betrothed, possessively embracing his bride and interrupting his father. Ah, Dad, enough with the nagging. She's got a lovely hairdo and she ain't one of your bleeding cadets. Yes, Papa. With your comments, one is more likely to burn with shame than to glow with joy. Jesus, Victor's hot as hell. Sorry, but he looks sad with dark hair. He looks like what a Victor would look like in a gothic horror. And we know that he's single. I don't want his brother. I want him. Victor. See? No need to spoil the mood before the celebration. You have a whole lifetime for that. Oh, don't remind me. Married life. Don't forget it. Let her not forget that she's no longer sitting in the cave with penguins or wherever you picked her up. She's a teacher at a parish school, actually. I heard they can't have children at all. Are you sure that... Mom, what the hell? Kiss your mother properly, Thenard. She started it. Listen to what she's saying. Completely out of control. Okay. Credit to Thenard, at least he's defending us against his mother. He might not be the one that we want, but that's not a bad quality to have. And that one just sits there silent. Say something. What can she say? He might as well have dragged a pigeon off the street. Glanced towards Victor. And would have had a better celebration with the blokes in the bar, I would. Amelia begins to cough from the smoke. Put that out, Thenard. Although, nicotine addiction is probably the best thing a child could inherit from you. Victor! Oh, that's so hot. Say that again. The corner of Amelia's mouth twitches weakly upwards. Her eyes stop darting and fixed, shifted slightly to the right. Oh, just screw yourself, you clever... My God. Thenard! I gave you an order, boy. No swearing at the table. Well, why is he saying that in front of my fiancé then? I don't want to hear another sound out of you. Eat in silence. The noise of the quarrel grows. Amelia's migraine pulse is stronger. This is so entertaining to me. No! no! The wedding. Amelia and Tenon stand before the altar. The hall, decorated with flowers and ribbons, is filled with guests in white suits. Oh, Victor! Among them, only Victor stands out. He pays no attention to the ceremony, scribbling in his notebook. What are you writing there? Oh my god! Sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why am I not marrying him instead? Why do I have to marry his brother? I want this guy. Hello, fine shit. They say the rich have their quirks, but when exceptional genius is added to wealth, we get an interior and company that only a madman would willingly enter. I'm mad. Me. 'Tis I. Or let's face it, a lovesick madman. What are you writing there? Nosological procession of the transcendental entropy. You're so hot. He is so fine. I do love a man who writes. Smart and hot. God help me. Victor snaps his notebook shut and looks at her, clearly expecting the usual. She sighs and reaches for the teacup. Ask about his state of mind. All those words you just made up. He visibly stifles a laugh. In your circles, that statement will be called a sin, and the Lord will forgive and accept, but knowing your jokes, he should have struck me deaf instead. That would be a pity. But seriously, I would very much like to hear your opinion on my work. Given the obvious differences in our worldviews and my complete lack of understanding of what you're talking about, I assume you are leading to an uneven argument. How about I just say in advance how extraordinary your mind is, how right you are about everything, and what a shame it is that no one can appreciate you properly. I can appreciate him properly. I won't even try to sound sincere. Honestly. Victor's smile is wiped away by pursed lips and a raised eyebrow. You are wrong. Excellent. Straight to the point. Her entire bearing suggests that her tea is growing sweeter with each jab at Victor. I sure hope he jabs at me in another way. Amelia, on the contrary, you are perfectly well acquainted with my work. And I am sure you know far more than I do, at this point at least. Unable to find any grounds for a joke, she shows genuine surprise. Alright then, speak. I am all ears. So, nosological procession of... Stop. Can we skip the Solarian language? I am studying the soul. She is clearly nonplussed. So you are engaged in psychological research? No, I am studying the human soul as an object. Or an organ, as energy, I don't know. You don't know what you're studying? Her reply is astonished and mocking. I don't know which category to assign it to. I haven't made much progress. I wanted to ask you to share your perspective on the phenomenon of the soul. So, I understand correctly, you, having studied every cell of every living and not so living creature on Earth, suddenly realized there was nothing left to discover and decided to invent a new science for yourself. I'm serious, Amelia. And I ask that you take my words seriously as well. For the past several months, I've been collecting information on anomalous events of which I believe you have heard. I was assigned to determine the causes, or at least to predict the consequences of everything that's happening. And in the process, I came to the conclusion that it is necessary to study, well, the soul. And you called me only because you suddenly needed a consultant on religious matters? I could have approached the bishop for the same purpose, but I would waste too much time on his exclamations about disrespect, blasphemy, bad taste, and other occupational hazards. You, on the other hand, are used to me. Resigned, more like. Besides, I trust your way of thinking. I'm confident that you will not distract me with ecclesiastical drivel. You speak to the point. Is that all? Annoying tenor gives me no pleasure, if that's what you mean. She smiled, but that name made everything inside her clench and freeze. I respect your situation. I don't want you to respect my situation. Come disrespect my situation. Disrespect me on this chair right behind you. It looks a bit freaky, but I'm sure we can make it work. Unenviable as it is. Enough. Let us move to that rare part of our conversation where I speak and you listen. Do not delay. Come closer. To the table. The cold receded, but with each step towards Victor, the inner trembling grew stronger, her hands losing control. She looked at the stack of papers with such love and reverence as if before her stood the love of her life. In truth, she simply lacked the strength to shift her gaze to the true cause of her agitation. Victor watched her reaction with bewilderment, thinking mistakenly that his work had genuinely captivated her. Only his thoughts were filled with not plans for future research. He wrote in his notebook, "Though I remain unlearned in the true nature of souls, if life lies hidden in the soul, she was the first of all." His poetic surge was so overwhelming that he did not immediately hear her voice. Yet another surge is overwhelming inside me as well. What the sacred text say about the soul, or my personal, clearly opinion on its nature? Victor? Victor? Yes, I am listening. Well, tease him about his phrasing. What's well? Shall we begin with the religious part of the question, or should I share my own thoughts instead? Let us begin with your thoughts. We can leave the nonsense for later. Oh, he's so attractive. She frowned, but could not suppress a smile. Oh, before we start, I wanted to ask something else. I remember you used to like small animals. She felt so warm and pleased that he had remembered such a small detail. Tomorrow evening, I am receiving a leather figurine of a bear and a very beautiful golden scarab. I cannot give them to you, alas. They are probably cursed, or more likely, extremely unsterile, having been excavated from burial sites. In any case, would you like to observe the practical part of my work? I really hope Victor doesn't die. Just a thought. Her face is a mixture of mild shock and tenderness, but she answers firmly without hesitation. Yes. I, by the authority given to me by the church, confirm that you have entered into a true marriage. Don't worry, guys, we still have the whole like till death do us part clause. Crazy thing to say, but you know. And I bless it. Well, I don't. I wanted the brother. I wanted this guy. What God has joined, let no man put asunder. Amen. Monsieur Thenard and Madame Emilia. Now, what has happened? You freaking monster. No, I don't believe it. I freaking hate you. No, you bitch. I don't believe it. You better not be talking to me like that. Amelia sits motionless in the corner of the room, holding the child carefully. On her face, a large black and blue bruise. Oh, weird. Death, this is a really good time to part us. Dried blood at the corner of her mouth, and in the eye. On the side of the bruise, all the vessels are burst. She stares ahead without blinking, breathing heavily. In her head, endless white noise. Oh, I feel terrible. Bastard, I should have known. I'll kill him. He breaks into a scream and weeps desperately. You're cursed. You and that spawn, and you frickin' deserve it. Every family has a skeleton in the cupboard, huh? I am assuming this is Victor's child. Well, welcome to our dungeon. Victor is extremely irritated, if not beside himself with rage. He is angered by his own inability to understand what he has been studying for months, and by the countless manuscripts that he has read, and most importantly, by what he has been discussing with Amelia for 2 weeks. If the dialogue were a duel, in this situation he'd be losing decisively. You know what's actually really worrying me? Victor is not in the, what's it called? The romanceables. Also, the protagonist's name isn't Amelia, it's Ileana, so I'm assuming this is in the past at the moment. Everything she has said so far makes him want nothing more than to lock all preachers into a room with soft walls. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we play as the bub, the baby. Judge for yourself. Judge for yourself. I can't figure out the nature of this phenomenon. Not because I reject religious tales, and certainly not because I am an idiot. Now more than ever, I see and acknowledge the importance of theological inquiry. All the incidents in the eastern part of the continent are connected exclusively with relics. I think it's really cool though, because like, setting up the kind of backstory makes you get really invested into it. And those newborns, with developmental anomalies, with those, he shudders nervously. Faces. It all correlates. I see the thread, but not the point it connects. Here for example, a banal parallel. I see this vessel on the table, I know everything about it. Date of manufacture. Technique, place of origin, all its defects, I can assess its potential use. Repair it if needed, and find you an identical one among others. But whatever you tell me, Amelia, I will not know for certain that there is water inside until I examine its contents. Until I smell it, drink the damn water. But here's the thing. He loses it. Oh, he's angry. There's no such organ in a human being that could contain what you were telling me, in any form, whether liquid, gas, or something else. But he quickly pulls himself together. At this rate, you are more likely to smash the vessel against the wall. Victor sighs irritably and reaches for a jug of water. Not maliciously, his throat is simply dry. Amelia grabs the jug sharply, although perhaps there is something to it. Listen, you claim that you can know the contents of this vessel only by examining it. At this moment, I would prefer to simply drink some water. Then I will tell you all about its taste and miraculous properties. Amelia walks to the sink, holding the jug, and pours out its contents. Victor sighs heavily, clenching his jaw. She sets the jug down. Victor casts an accusatory glance at Amelia. She looks back at him with a satisfied smile. He looks away. Still thirsty? Yes, Amelia, that is exactly what I said a moment ago. Do not pretend that this cold-blooded act was not informed by that very knowledge. Amelia makes no attempt to hide her pleasure. New scientists have one remarkable thing in common with preachers. One group is guided by logic, the other by philosophy. They explain the world in different ways, but always after it happens, that makes you utterly helpless in the face of chance. And the less predictable these chances, the more anomalous they are. the more helpless you are before them, and the more zealous in justifying the methods by which you try to measure uncertainty. Victor raises his eyebrows in amazement, staring at her. Tell me, O luminary of all sciences, who knows everything about this vessel and longs to study its contents, what can you say about it now? It is empty, and so it has ceased to interest you. I suppose so. But what has changed about it? It contained nothing you even suspected. It is empty, Victor. Victor's eyes dart. He is deep in bewildered thought. If you have tried so long to find something where you suspected it exists, why not imagine what the absence of that thing would look like? Come on, Victor. I am eager to hear all your skepticism. Mel, I'm struck. What you just said is... Amelia jumps up and interrupts him in a severe tone. Listen to me, Victor. You are not merely the most intelligent person I've ever known in my sad life. For all your cynical barbs, no one in this ill-fated family has been as genuinely kind and attentive to me as you have. Your soul is brighter than all those ecclesiastical windbags. She moves closer to Victor, placing her warm hand on his chest. Jesus, though you have not yet traced it in any anatomical atlas, I know that you have not been denied a soul. And you are not angry because your usual methods have failed. You genuinely want to help those frightened people and sick children. She embraces him tenderly around the shoulders. Victor's eyes dart uncertainly, unable to hide from Amelia's fixed gaze. You will succeed. You are the best, and I will be with you. Victor is clearly moved by her words but restrains his surging feelings with all his might. Thank you, Mel. You are right, and I am certain that thanks to you we are one step closer to revelation. I would not have succeeded without you. Oh boy. Yay! Yippee! But also, oh no. It goes both ways. Just don't continue. Victor does not return Amelia's kiss immediately. For a fraction of a second, he remains tense and motionless. Fortunately, it does not last long. I'm wondering at this stage what the state of her and Tennant's relationship is. Because I know she has never loved him, but she also made a point to say that Victor is the only one that treats her with the most kindness in this entire family. Fortunately, it does not last long. The moment her fingers dig desperately into the fabric of his waistcoat, pulling him closer, the invisible dam breaks. All his measured, cold rationality plummets into the abyss. Let alone his principles and loyalty to his family. Oh no. He seizes the initiative. His lips greedily take command over her thoughtless impulse. Only now can he admit to himself the unhealthy, maddening pull he feels towards this woman. Amelia exhales shakily, offering her neck to his burning kisses. She melts into his strong arms. The accumulated tension, guilt, and animal attraction override the sanctity of her intentions. At this moment, she is happier than she has ever been in her life. This is the highest reward for her long patience and submission. The devil, it seems, is more cunning than she thought. Victor pulls back for a moment, breathing heavily and hoarsely. We are crossing a line. Yeah, finally! We've been wanting to cross a line since the game started when she was praying at the altar. Beyond it, there will be no forgiveness. I do not want you to be hurt. He rests his forehead against her flushed face, showing his submission to her. Though this may be the last drop of his will, his concern for what will become of her is stronger. Amelia looks up at him. There is no longer fear in her eyes nor the familiar monastic submission. Only a feverish, dark-hidden gleam. Perhaps this was her true essence. Instead of an answer, she deepens the kiss with a light, inviting smile. Oh, we are going the entire way. Victor's inner voice sounds with bitter, almost painful realization. For months, I searched for proof of the soul's existence in formulas and dead matter. What a blind fool I was. This is so romantic. It is here. Oh, wow. If this is the hell that they threatened me with since childhood, I willingly leave Eden. How could I have been so pathetic for so many years? Oh no. Two brothers, Tennant and Victor, against the background of a splintered doorframe. This is clearly a very warm family reception. Tennant speaks in an angry, ferocious tone. What do you mean you don't know what it is? He shouts in outrage, not believing what he hears. And what the hell have you been doing here for months? What bloody good are you in all this clever freaking wank you feed the government if you don't know what you're dealing with? I can't freaking believe you sit here pissing in everyone's ears about your research. Well, you're having a laugh with my... You owe me, you hear? Again, he breaks into a furious scream. You owe me. While you were scribbling in your notebooks and chasing cockroaches, and I took the freaking its for the pair of us. I put up with that old at home and on duty, till he finally shriveled into a wrinkled prune and freaking died at last. And you, always freaking busy with your heavenly affairs that are simple, stupid don't get our heads around. You never gave a crap about family. Only your beakers, your flowers, and your freaking light bulbs. Everyone was just notes in your little file cards. Till I brought her home. A mad little laugh. He is clearly spiraling. And that's when Noel went to freaking shit. First he took the piss out of her, and then, mocking an intellectual voice badly, Oh, you see, I developed a scientific interest in a religious education. What kind of idiot must I have been to let all this happen? Victor is decent. Victor's family. Victor is your brother. Victor is a man of science. You thick-skulled oaf, Victor. Oh dear. The man covers his face with his palms. That's why I trusted you. You never gave a shit about other people's feelings, and now... He slaps his own hand demonstratively. There's no soul in you. Screw you. And screw that whore of yours. One is gonna die, right? I feel like one of them is gonna die. But you have to. You friggin' owe us. Get us out of this shit and get me out. His heart breaks into desperate sobbing. Get my daughter out, Victor. What happened? Breaking down into weeping, wailing through tears. Why has our family got to suffer like this because of one Hey! Victor answers him emotionlessly, monotonously. He is torn by mixed feelings but keeps himself in check like iron. All over the world, people from all walks of life share your grief, from the aborigines of deep forests to the highest officials of the state. Yeah, do not call Amelia that. Fathers and mothers weep for their children fighting side by side against this plague, and only the brave Major Tennard, who bows to no superstition, has declared his own wife an enemy of humanity. After his brother's words, Tennard leaves the laboratory, stunned but lingers at the exit. And what good are you to humanity if you can't even help your own family? Tennard, out of breath, bursts into his home and begins frantically searching for something with his eyes. Poor Amelia, someone get her out, please. I'll get her out. Amelia sits motionless, in the same place she was before he left. Where is it? Goddamn everything in this house. His voice betrays panic, but he desperately tries to keep himself together. Amelia looks into emptiness, as if no one is home. Tennard tries to level his voice to a calm tone. Amelia. She does not react, frozen like a statue. Tennard begins to shout at her like thunder. Amelia! Where the hell are my things? Do not yell at her! She finds it hard to focus and speak, shock and blinding pain. What? Which? Tennard again tries to speak terrifyingly calmly. My uniform, my sidearm, where's my bag? Quick! Why? The right door of the wardrobe in the living room, behind the civilian clothes. He moves decisively deeper into the house to search for his things. Amelia can only watch him go. He doesn't know. Of course he doesn't know, but I know. I know everything. Those suits in the Capitol decide to hide it all. His voice betrays mad certainty in his own rightness. I feel so bad for her. It's all them. Them. Stuffed up their freaking pockets again, and we have to clean up the freaking mess. Tennard, you are not yourself. I am also tormented by grief. But a solution will be found. Victor will surely. Try to calm him down. I think the baby might have been cursed with, whatever Victor is researching into. Not a freaking word about him. I'll do it myself. Oh, this is not good. Many believe the end of the world is when the sky falls to the earth, night turns to day from the fires, and the rich sit in the same basement as the homeless. In truth, the end of the world came quietly, almost unnoticed, and on the day the consequences caught up with everyone. People were not terrified by the catastrophe itself, not by its scale, but by the fact that they could not even identify what they were facing. Prologue, Broadcast 1. The iconostasis of the city's main cathedral was found covered with a black substance, resembling soot. After cleaning, the church officials discovered all sacred images had vanished. This is so intriguing. Broadcast 2. Reports from around the world speak of mysterious disappearances of religious imagery. The phenomenon is being called an unprecedented act of mass vandalism. The vibes in this are immaculate. Broadcast 3. News from humanity's holiest shrine. For the first time in history, in the cave where pilgrims from across the world had gathered, the holy fire did not ignite. Instead, black smoke filled the entire space. An evacuation followed, dozens injured. Oh my god. Broadcast 4. In the eastern part of the continent, reports of an anomalous animal migrations in an unknown direction. Oh god, guys, I think Armageddon is coming. Intensifying rains. Broadcast 5. The southern lands are facing a plague of insects. Where have I heard this before? Severe sandstorms in the deserts have cut off entire regions from the outside world. Disease? Plague? Floods? Is the sun gonna turn black? Prime Minister is personally investigating the circumstances. We urge you to remain calm. Statement 2. The head of the church has declined to make an official statement. Officer speaking. Send an ambulance. Route M40. A woman in her 20s, premature labor. Doctor, you must come immediately. The newborn, God, I don't understand. I can't see his face. Sister, this can't be my imagination. Broadcast 6. Frightening anomalies among newborns. Cases recorded worldwide. Eyewitnesses are calling the phenomenon the veil. So what I'm hearing is that Victor did not succeed in dealing with this Someone is shouting in a preacher's voice. The innocent are paid for our sins and for the sins of our fathers. Broadcast 7. People are demanding answers. Broadcast 8. The Chief of Staff on the Imperial Guard, Major Cosette, has announced the beginning of a march. We will not... Wait, it's Tenard. We will not tolerate silence in response to the pleas of fathers and mothers. We would demand answers from them. For the people, for our children. Still doesn't have a face. Just imagine how upside down the world has become. That the most powerful and influential people of this age, holding their breath, await the speech of the head of the city's hospital residency program, Victor? Victor stands at the podium, preparing to deliver a speech that will make his listeners doubt his sanity. But before him are not students, not professors, the entire leadership of the state, along with camera operators broadcasting him worldwide. Perfectly aware of his position, Victor begins with something like resignation. He takes a deep breath, exhales, begins confidently and firmly. Let it be known that oratory is not foreign to me. After so many years of lectures in our Temple of Science, anyone who suspects falseness in me or hears a tremor in my voice, alas, your ears do not deceive you, for I stand before you not as a scientist, not as a politician, but as one of the millions united by a single grief. And therefore, I will no longer allow ignorance to torment you, as it has tormented me all these months. First of all, I am here to tell you, all the affected children are perfectly healthy, medically speaking. I vouch for every infant I personally examined. Physically, they are in perfect order. But what happened to them? This shared anomaly called the veil lies beyond the bounds of conventional medicine. To understand what we are truly dealing with, we must look at it from a religious perspective. Hell no! I will understand anyone who doubts my sanity after this statement, but according to conducted research, it has been determined all newborns lack what religious people call the soul. Hooray! They have no souls. Furthermore, I am compelled to acknowledge that all those who entertain thoughts of a curse were right, and at the same time profoundly wrong. He speaks loudly with fervor, with each sentence gaining more confidence in his words and firmness in his tone. For as anomalous as this event is, so helpless have both science and religion proven before it, and ever more zealous in justifying the methods by which we try to measure uncertainty. But now we must unite our knowledge and our strength to finally lift the veil of mystery from one of humanity's greatest enigmas, and at the same time from the faces of our innocent children. Inhale. We must, together, find a cure for this affliction. Whether in sacred or scientific texts, it does not matter. The main thing is, together. His ardor subsides. He shifts to a calm, soothing tone. His ardor subsides. He shifts to a calm, soothing tone. I call upon every single person, regardless of whether this tragedy has touched you or not, to show compassion, to care for the children, for the fathers, for the mothers. 1.5 years later, the Tenard house. Every day, Amelia set a lavish table in expectation of her husband, who has not appeared on the doorstep in weeks. She did not give up her desperate attempts to become a normal family. To this end, she called the one who could help her again and again. With unsteady fingers, she turns the rotary dial several times. She takes a deep breath and begins speaking into the receiver in a monotone, not expecting an answer, knowing there will be none. As always. At first her voice is emotionless and cold, but every now and then she convulsively swallows a lump in her throat and barely holds back the rising tremor. He hasn't been home again for over a week. I only see him on television. He talks about children, about families, giving uplifting speeches to the soldiers. He thinks he is the one who must find a way. Their unit is beginning to resemble a cult more and more every day. He spends the night away from home, from us, and he is in no hurry to come back. He cannot come to terms with it himself. And yet, every time he does eventually come, the first thing he asks is whether you have called. Whether you have finally answered, and I say no, he disappears again. Fine. A few days ago, our neighbors, Miss Panettiere, she took her little girl into the forest and just left her there. Oh my god, she said. She likes looking at the flowers. I told him. And he's strangely calm. He said she knows what needs to be done. He said everything will be fine. He is clearly not himself. I am worried to madness. Please understand, I'm not asking you for a miracle. I just want you to be there for your brother in this difficult time. Not as a savior, as family. Talk to him. At least write to him. Amelia takes a long pause with obvious disappointment. She no longer knows what to say. I will go to my daughter. She is fine. You know, I even thought for a moment that I could make out her eyes. At that moment, the sound of the door being flung open. Heavy footsteps and Tenard's mad voice. What is it? Did he call? Did he answer? Something happened? Amelia, not so much frightened as exasperated. No, it is me. Tenard snarls angrily. Fine then, screw that charlatan. Amelia is confused. She does not fully realize that her husband is actually here and speaking to her. Are you staying long? Tenard does not notice her. He seems not quite present. I'm freaking hungry, let's go eat. Everything will be fine soon. At first, a deathly silence hangs. Then Amelia, despairing, breaks it with a question. She sounds insincere and clearly uninterested in the answer. What have you been doing? Tenard answers her with absolute calm, with a terrifying, steely cold in his voice. Conducting a briefing. We found a way to end this plague. I found it. I will say though, one thing I really like is how human every single character that we've met so far has turned out to be. Tenard's background being a decorated war general, so in my opinion, he's quite used to being praised, being decorated, being celebrated. And like, he thinks he has it all. He has a gorgeous wife, gets to settle down, gets to be part of a prestigious family because his parents are quite well off, to then realize that his daughter is affected by the veil. Something in a sense that he kind of subconsciously, I reckon, believes that he wasn't able to be affected by it. And I think that comes from a place of potentially like not conscious egoism. Tenard himself has built himself up to a point in which I believe that he thinks he is untouchable because of all the praise that has been lauded upon him. He's the eldest son, the better brother in the eyes of the family. So when something like that happens to him, he can't comprehend it. It doesn't make his reaction and what he does to Amelia right because it is awful, but I think the way that he reacts is very predictable for someone of his background. You can see that he reacts impulsively immediately. He goes to search for his soldier's uniform, he goes to find his sidearm, he rallies an army to try and figure this out in the only way that he can, because I think that's the only thing that's sort of still tethering him into staying alive. And like, while I believe Tenard thinks that he's doing something noble, I think from my perspective, it's like two different things. Tenard thinks it is noble by raising the morale of the populace and trying to give them a solution in a situation in which there is no fix. But at the same time, running from his daughter, leaving her, leaving his wife at home, not facing anything, not actually addressing the emotions that surround it is also incredibly cowardly as well. And you can also make the argument that him forming an army and trying to do this is him also running from facing the actual problem. It's like, I've suffered my father, I've suffered my horrible mother, I've suffered war, I've come back from it, I'm a decorated war general, I finally have a wife, finally get to have a child. Why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. I think that's like the driving crux of a lot of Tenard's anger. It makes him very scary because he is very impulsive at the moment. Conducting a briefing, we found a way to end this plague. I found it. Amelia clearly did not expect this. She chokes. What are you talking about? What way? The government has issued a directive. He does not like the mention of the government. He interrupts her sharply. No, we are acting on our own. Igor knows what's got to be done. Amelia is outraged by the mention of an outcast from the forest. One everyone is used to thinking is not right in the head. You cannot be serious. He is insane, and a pagan besides. Though it is hard to say which came first, Tenard disagrees with her words. He is blindly confident in his judgments. His spirit strong. And a strong spirit can't be separated from the body against its will. Amelia cannot take this seriously. She would like to be angry, but she understands that her husband is grasping at anything that gives him any hope. What does that even have to do with... He is exploiting the soldier's despair for his own purposes. He is exploiting your despair to feed his madness. Tenard pays no attention to her words. Amelia hopes to reason with her husband. She sounds artificially soothing as if speaking to a madman. He's not going to listen though, because he has a very, very big ego subconsciously. And he thinks that his path is righteous. So he is not going to listen. And that is sad. Everything will be fine. Victor will surely... Tenard instantly boils over and slams his fist on the table. Screw him. Screw those bloody reptiles. They don't give a shit about our suffering. So why the hell should I? Amelia tries to interrupt with apologies, so he ignores her. I'm sorry, I didn't. Listen to their orders. Neither them, nor some made-up god, and no one gives a hell about us. He tries to calm down. With difficulty, he manages to shift to a terrifying, level tone. Forgive me. I shouldn't have lost it. I understand. You sheep. You just need a shepherd. That is dangerous thinking. Amelia chokes again. She is utterly bewildered. Tenard falls silent for a moment in dark contemplation. Then he turns to Amelia. Bring her. This thing. I want to look at it. That is your child. See, there's another layer of separation that he's putting between him and his family. Removing the humanity from his child. Amelia's ears burn when he calls her daughter this thing. But bitter experience has taught her not to argue. She sighs heavily, about to go for the child, but something holds her back. She feels uneasy. A sticky fear begins to creep up her spine. It's late already. She better be sleeping. Tenard seems to not hear her and repeats calmly. Bring this thing here, please. That's not fair. A few minutes later, Amelia returns with the child in her arms. Her body pulses nervously from within. Something is wrong. Tenard is utterly calm. Oh my god, I'm kinda worried. He continues to coo blissfully, his glassy gaze fixed on the child. Weak little creature. Hard to say if there's any life in it at all. Hey! It's innocent, but the mixing of blood, that's my fault and the fault of many. We forgot about our ancestors. Let the weak live and breed. And look what it's brought us. Oh, that is a very dangerous line of thought. Amelia feels a cold rush of adrenaline. She clenches her jaw until it cracks. She desperately wants to run far away from this madman, but she is paralyzed by animal terror. Tenard, let's go to bed. You are clearly exhausted. You need rest. He ignores her trembling words. I'm not angry with you, Amelia. I understand you can't see your own guilt. She has nothing to be guilty for. While I dislike Tenard, you're nothing. Dude, while I dislike Tenard, he's very well written. No wonder your womb gave birth to... Oh, don't you dare. This. Tears well in her eyes. She clutches her daughter tighter. From deep beneath the veil on the child's face, a quiet plaintive whimper seems to sound. Tenard, please, you are frightening me. Tenard still ignores her. It's nothing, Amelia. Everything is fine. I love you. Oh god, that's terrifying. I love you both. That's even scarier. Amelia closes her eyes and sobs. Tenard holds her tight. She is in unbearable pain and fear. She knows what her husband has been through. She knows she betrayed him and left him in ignorance. She desperately wants a cure for their child to be found soon, then everything will fall into place. She finds it hard to breathe. A sharp pain shoots through her body. She shudders and presses herself harder against Tenard, with naive hope that her husband's warmth will drive away all the bad feelings. But the pain only grows sharper. She realizes this is not an excess of emotion. This is physical agony. What has happened? No! She pulls away from Tenard, just managing to lay her daughter on the nearest surface. Again, she feels a piercing pain, then sticky warmth. Looking at her husband, she sees a kitchen knife in his hand, the one she laid before him for the meal. He loved meat for dinner. She tries to speak, but at first only a wet rasp escapes her throat. Tenard, what are you... Tenard continues to coo blissfully as if in a trance. Everything will be fine. With the blood, the curse will leave. If your spirit's strong, you have nothing to fear. Amelia is in pure horror. She sobs, whether from the tearing pain or the monstrous realization of what has happened. Her gurgling rasp escapes. We're family. Tenard speaks to her gently in a terrifyingly reassuring tone. Everything's fine. Everything will be fine, I'm here. He slowly reaches for the child. And this should be given back to the earth. Amelia writhes in agony. She no longer tries to understand what is happening. She is delirious. Forgive me. It's me. It's my fault. I deserved it. This is so sad. Incredibly well written. But very sad. I need... my little girl. Tenard, but then Amelia is jolted as if by an electric shock. Maternal instinct overcomes death. She clings to the child and lunges straight at Tenard, shoving him out of the way with her weakening body. The next moment she is running through the night street, inhaling with a characteristic terrible gurgling sound. I hope the main character that we play as, if, like, the baby, I hope we get to find out how much our mother loved us. No, this is incredibly well written. It's very well done. It addresses the, tough themes very, very well. She runs to Victor. To be a mother is to place your child's life and well-being above your own. Always. I have not had the chance to understand this myself. But because of her, I know it for certain. Victor is asleep at his desk, lit only by a table candelabrum. His troubled sleep is abruptly broken by a dull thud at the door, then another harder than the first. The already splintered door crashes open. Amelia slides helplessly down the wall to the floor beside the door and carefully lays the child next to her. Victor falls to his knees beside her, his eyes wide with pure horror and confusion. Hurriedly tearing a strip from the hem of her dress, he tries to bind her abdomen with trembling hands, then desperately presses the wound. Mel, what? How long ago did this happen? Blood type, he cries out through clenched teeth, hating himself for panicking. Your eyes cold, Mel, that's very bad. Victor tries to hold her with his hands, gently lowering her to the floor and moving the candelabrum closer. Lie down. You need to stay lying down. You need to... Amelia breathes heavily. She pays no attention to his words and reaches her bloodied hand towards Victor's face, trying to say something, but at first only a wet rasp escapes. Vic, please. I know you. Victor desperately tries to cut her off with doctorly instructions, but his voice breaks. He is mortally afraid. No, you mustn't speak. Don't. Amelia swallows her own blood and gathers the last of her strength. In a voice trembling with agony, but astonishingly firm, looking straight into his eyes, she speaks. Don't let him get to the child. He's lost his mind. He wants to kill her. Save daughter. Well, at least we know they succeeded. Our little girl, Victor. Okay, so Victor is the dad. Swear it. Do everything. Take what is mine and give it to her. Victor is utterly bewildered. Adrenaline and numb stupor consume him after her words. Mel, what are you... Amelia ignores his incomprehension. I know you will succeed. You're the best. I am with you. Oh, that is so sad. That's the line that she said to him when he was first making his scientific breakthrough and he couldn't bring himself to do it. And then she says it now when she's about to die. I wanna fucking cry. Hot tears fall in his eyes. He cannot bear her life leaving. Mel, please. Amelia breathes more and more rarely, speaking hoarsely, but a last genuine smile blooms on her pale lips. You are right after all. I entrusted my soul to God's will, and look where it's brought me. She coughs weakly, blood flecking her lips and her eyelids grow heavy. I love you, Victor. My soul is yours, forever. I signed up for the hot white-haired man, and I got emotional damage. You will make better use of it then. God. Oh, that is such a good line. 22 years later, I'm hurting. Elia. What happened after that, I cannot remember. But fortunately, I have a living encyclopedia at my disposal. That night, without exaggeration, my entire world collapsed. But my personal tragedy heralded a tragedy far larger than one family. For all over the world, people falling into despair committed more and more terrible acts and terrible mistakes trying to rid themselves of the curse. Oh, this is so good. Amelia's final wish was carried out within the walls of my laboratory. The experiment succeeded. Successfully. The girl recovered quickly. She grew up under my watchful eye and wanted for nothing. Oh, Victor. I am suspecting some soul transplant stuff going on. Of course, you were raising yourself a lab assistant. An exceptional lab assistant, if you please. Yeah, right. Quiet, do not interrupt. My success did not impress my colleagues. They all deemed it inhumane and unacceptable. I was suspended from my work and attempts were made to take the child away, but they encountered certain difficulties. Soon we were together again, but many were less fortunate. Oh no! My inhumane technology was appropriated by my former colleague, a self-proclaimed genius, in reality a waste of carbon, Dr. Burroughs. And sometime later our university was transformed into the Echo Science Complex, where the mass transfer of souls into embryos began for the first time. Oh, that is... oh no. Ooh, gothic horror dystopian. I love it. It is a very, very cool setting, but this required donors. People, predominantly of middle and lower income, heroically sacrificing themselves for the sake of future generations. Oh, that is messed up. But it's always like that. The population shrank considerably. Birth rates were low, and no one was in a hurry to help the already afflicted children. Humanitarians, what can you expect? Then my technology was allegedly refined, offering hope to everyone without exception, but it also allowed Echo to gain a power that many could only dream of. Oh no, we're gonna have to fight them, probably. A monopoly on life, an unprecedented triumph of anthropocentrism. Our motto now, Ave Mortalis, hail, O mortal forger of wonders. No god remains. Man reigns alone. Yeah, right. Like that's ever going to happen. It didn't take long for another blow to strike human pride. So brittle, so overweening. Millions of children around the world who were not fortunate enough to be cured grew into those now we call the Hollow, outwardly resembling humans but their faces covered by the veil. They are harmless, passive, and at first merely served as a demoralizing factor. But they begun to breed. Oh god, I think this might be the most terrifying sentence. And what they gave birth to no longer looked like us. Disgusting, little studied, ferocious creatures driven by the urge to tear apart any animate being. To protect against them, the spies and the Ark were built around the remaining inhabited part of the city, keeping the Hollow at bay. Or rather, from what was once known as the city of Hasov. Now, the fortress city of Echo, though it is not sealed behind an impassable wall. Leaving it is forbidden. It was here you were born. It is here you will die. This law unwritten, every soul do know, and none is spared the knowing, but far from all agree with it. Chapter 1, Echo. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Guys, it's the white-haired man. Damon walks hurriedly through the forest. He is deep in thought, muttering to himself, when is Damon gonna be deep in me? Right, the bakery basement is busted, meat confiscated. I'll confiscate his meat. Oh my god, he's so pretty. Oh, I don't give a shit. I've extracted enough material from them. But there are fewer and fewer field labs. Fine, I'll send the moth units towards the U-12, that's Virgin territory. So I'll lie low in the slums for a while. If they trace me through deviations in the meat's behavior or marks on the amples, if... He breaks off into a nasty, arrogant laugh, speaking aloud. But first let them initiate an investigation into the stolen gurneys from the mental hospital. Yeah, inspectors, freaking criminologists. Look, I need to worry about that. By underestimating the hounds is a mistake. I'll still have to go underground for a while, work on the protocols. How long? A month? 2? 1.5? Yes, 1.5 should do it. What the fuck? At the last moment, he notices a figure rushing towards him at full speed, but he cannot react in time. That's me. Panicking, he falls to the ground, trying to scramble back from the creature, and slams into a tree. Save us, problematic man. I think we're about to save him. Oh wait, sorry, I am covering his face. I am so sorry, King. A hollow girl throws herself on top of him. Crap, get off! Damon notices her unusual appearance for a hollow. Modern torn clothing, clean skin and hair. He freezes for a few seconds, trying to make sense of what he sees. I think that's us. Something's wrong. City clothes? Clean? No characteristic smelt perfume. And decent. What? For a moment, the veil lifts from her face and he can make out her features. Peering closer, he clearly sees the veil flickering, thinning, then thickening. Finally, it vanishes completely, revealing the frightened face of the girl. Damon stares at her for a few seconds in utter horror and bewilderment, breathing heavily, losing the power of speech. Then he cries out and jabs her with a zapper. What the hell? Why? Hearing clumsy, shuffling footsteps approaching, he realizes it is a hollow, and his zapper needs time to recharge. Damon quickly ducks behind the trees. What was that? No, I clearly saw what it was. Is this some kind of anomaly? And the question is, how is this possible? Some kind of camouflage? I would know about something like that, and why would it attack people? Let that meat get close to her, and then we'll see if it's camouflage or... The burning in my limbs slowly woke my trembling body. Why are my babies out in the snow? My organs were turning inside out. My chest was tearing apart. The will to live forced me to rise on weakened arms. In my muddled mind, I crawled in an unknown direction, searching for somewhere warmer, but the approaching footsteps stopped me, and the smell of the frosty thicket gave me more understanding of where I was, because I did not want to believe my own eyes. The pulling haze stared silently into my soul. The meat-empty creature did not move from its place, as if it had frozen into the snow before me. I stopped my already painful breathing when it moved closer. A defenseless piece of meat ready for immediate consumption was so close, but no further movement came. Moved to test its reaction, my palm slipped through the buttons of my light shirt, squeezing my pulsing chest beneath. I did not take my eyes off the creature opposite, because I did not know what to expect from one in whom there is nothing. No, I need to scare off the creature. Too valuable a specimen to risk. And besides, saving a damsel in distress will offset the embarrassment with a stun gun, I hope. Right, here we go. Act quickly and decisively. Move carefully, creeping closer. In the distance, people's shouts are heard. They are indistinct but approaching. What now, for fuck's sake? What the hell are the hounds doing in this wilderness? Just you dare screw this up for me, you animals. I did not know how long we stared at each other in complete silence, until human cries came from the forest calling someone by name. It bolted too quickly for me to react. A sharp surge of adrenaline lessened my pain and allowed me to stumble backwards. But it did not charge at me. It went sideways. It was looking for cover. It thrashed like a rabid animal cornered. As if the victim here was not me. As the human cries grew closer, it fled into the densest part of the forest, leaving me completely alone. But the calls became distinguishable, and in them I could make out my name. Oh, that's scary. Elia! Oh, thank God it was just Victor. Madame Cassette! He raises his eyebrows in surprise, sinking into his own thoughts. Cassette? Madame Elia? Again, this bloody hound ruins my plans. His face twists into a stupid grin of realization. How inscrutable are the fates and unsearchable the paths. Madame Cassette? Boss, ears from Sector C-23 passed on word about that girl in the woods. Turned out to be a fancy doll. Can't just take her without showing up. The meat hums some tune under his breath. Yeah, I can see why he's called the meat. What are your orders, boss? Observe, study, from afar. And if someone else gets any ideas, we know who, we know where, and we'll find out if. Got it, boss. Guard the little soul. Don't frighten her off. Guide her. I'll prepare the meeting. Well, to be continued in September 2026. No! I want to play more right now. That was so good. That was so good. And we just met Damon. We didn't get to meet the other guy though. We still haven't met Cassian and Dakota yet. I'm so excited to see them. And that was my playthrough of the prologue of Amen the Quiet Exodus. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is probably one of my favorite demos I've actually checked out this year. The art style is very pretty. The characters are all incredibly intriguing. And the lore was written very, very well. I came in here expecting hot, problematic, maybe toxic, maybe cocky men, and I was given heartbreak and emotional sadness, which is fine because I love a good amount of lore and backstory and angst. But my god, I really wish Victor happiness because good god, Emilia sucked. I loved her so much. It was so sad to say goodbye to her. And I felt so bad for her. I'm very interested to see what is going to happen because, you know, Victor's obviously still around and looking after Elia now, who is his and Amelia's daughter, and obviously still suffers from the veil in certain aspects, as we can see when she meets Damon. Curious as well because I'm pretty sure Tenard is still in this world too. It's going to be very interesting seeing how those two react to one another if they inevitably meet. I do want to also meet the other love interests, Cassian and Dakota as well. They are absolutely gorgeous. And honestly, I've been so pleased with every single character I've met, even like the minor side ones. I cannot wait to meet those two and find out more about the world too. Thank you so very much for watching this with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did because I love this so much. If you guys would like to check out the demo for yourselves, I have linked it in the description box below. Feel free to also wishlist on Steam as well. That would super duper help the team. And if you would like to support me, my Patreon is down in the comments below as well. Supporting me is not mandatory, just very appreciated. Anyway, thank you so much again as always, and until next time, take care.